Hola.
What's up?
So, upped your dose to
I shouldn't have.
1.
Yeah.
Is that 1 milligram?
0.5 up to 1 milligram now.
Mm-hmm. And you've been kind of suffering a bit?
A little bit.
How long have you been on the 1 dose or the 1 milligram?
2 days. Well, today would be the 3rd day. And it's been a joy.
It sounds like it.
Complete and utter joy. Not.
You think you're going to get used to it?
I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to it. I think, I just feel I'm at a point now where it's not the point of no return, but it's certainly a point where you have to start thinking, do I need to stop? Do I need to, what measures do I need to take so that I don't keep going through what I go through?
Right.
Because once it starts taking its toll on your daily routine, then it becomes an issue. So, I mean, I can't do with it what I would like to do with it, which is, I can dial in the amount for 0.5 on the 1 milligram, but they only give you 4 needles. So if I'm only getting 4 needles, then you're kind of locked in to taking the 1 milligram. I mean, I could
wonder if you could go and get, because you know how for like people that have issues with drug addiction, they have like free needles so that there's no diseases that are.
Well, I should probably, I never thought to bring it with me, but I should bring it with me so you can see, like,
it just doesn't take
it's literally nothing. Like, I'm going to say maybe about a quarter. If a quarter of an inch goes into my skin, that's probably going on the high end. But it's so thin that the gauge is so tiny that when I just push it on my skin, I don't even know that it's going in my skin. I literally like apply pressure because I was doing it in my stomach or this area, but I do it in my leg now. And like literally I'll be you'll see it going down because I'm applying it in. And I don't really feel anything. Now, I don't know if you've seen some of the other needles on some of these pens, but like I don't know if it's Zepbound or if it's Manjaro, but their needles are like actual. I mean, it's a pen, but the needles on the gauge is thicker and it's longer. I'm like, I'm glad that ain't me. I'm glad that's not me.
It couldn't be me.
Like even because Christina's daughter has to get shots she has to do self injections for her arthritis, and I had to give her one, and I was like, better you than me,
right?
Screw that.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, they screw on. They're not like, because it's one pen and then it's disposable needle. So you just screw it on and then take the cap off, and there's another cap that comes off of that, and it's ready to go. And the thing is when you take it off, because I actually did this the first time, I went to go throw it away. It's just like this little tiny thing. And I go and I pick it up, my finger, the side that actually connects to that screws onto the pen, I touched the inside and I pricked my finger. I was like, son of a, like, you don't realize that you're going to do that. I just took it for granted. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm contemplating what my next move is going to be and what I'm going to do. I certainly think that I don't know how much more weight I would actually lose, to be quite honest with you, because the percentage of what you're supposed to lose is not like astronomical. It's not, you're going to hit a plateau where you're not going to go past it. So I think like 40 to 60 pounds is really, the 60 being the max, is what you would lose on it. Because you figure with with Ozempic, the percentage is not big. So even if you lose 20%, I mean, 20% of where I was would be over 80 pounds. So
far you've lost
47.
47. Fuck. I mean, my God. 47 pounds since you started Ozempic. Or I know you lost some before you started,
Ozempic,
right?
I've lost. So I started in what? June? July? June. So 6, 7, and I've lost 15 of that is what, 30 something. So I've lost over 30 pounds with Ozempic. But I mean, I had already started, like you mentioned, I had already started to get into a routine, started losing weight.
You lost how much on Ozempic?
It's over 30 pounds. I don't know the exact amount. I mean, I could go and pull all that up, but
no, that's fine. I just wanted to give everybody an idea of without and with. So without, you were doing.
I was still on the same.
Were you doing intermittent fasting or anything?
And I still do it. I mean, like we talked last week.
Right.
I mean, I kind of fell off that wagon during the holiday season because there's just so much stuff going on. Now I wasn't out of control.
Right.
I just wasn't doing the 8 o'clock at night till midnight or noon. I was doing like 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, which with the intermittent fasting, it's all about how long you go because your body starts to burn the fat once you hit a certain hour.
Right.
Because you can go and do all the, look it up and see like where, what your bare minimum of losing would be if you went from, if I fasted from 8 until 9 or 8 to 8. But it's better if you do the 8 to, for me anyway, like all my schedule, it was 8 to 12. And there would be some days where, because 8 is my cutoff anyway, regardless. I always told myself at 8 o'clock, that was it. After 8, I'm not eating a thing.
Do you drink water or anything after?
I drink water every day.
Right. After you're, sometimes you go NPO. Some people will go NPO, which is like nothing by mouth.
Right.
Right. So, do you do that, or are you drinking, like, you're not drinking anything, or are you just drinking water?
Well, I mean,
after 8.
Oh, after 8? No, I drink water. I mean, I drink water throughout the day, but again, coming back to close to Thanksgiving all the way up to right after New Year's, I mean, I've been drinking a lot more soda than I've drank before.
Sure.
Like before, if I had one soda a week, that was really where I was one soda a week. But then all that increased.
Yeah.
So I've gotten myself back down to the point where I try not to drink the soda. Christina's a soda drinker, period. And it makes it a little hard, but it's, if you have the willpower like I had before, it's not hard at all. The intermittent fasting part, like I said, with the eating part, there were nights where, we would eat at 5 o'clock and then I wouldn't have anything after 5 o'clock. Not saying to myself, oh, I'm done eating, but I knew what my time limit was, but I just wasn't eating anything.
Sure.
And there were times where so if that was the case, we'd eat dinner at 5 and then I wouldn't eat again the next day until noon. That was the start. So I'm sure that helped a lot too. And then I had a couple days where I fasted for almost 24 hours, which wasn't tough, but it wasn't like extremely hard either, so it's about getting back on that type of schedule for me. And for the most part, like I said, that, what is it, 16 hour window, I've been back on track with the 16-hour window for sure. But yeah, I just cut a lot of that. You
started Ozempic in when?
June.
Okay, so you started Ozempic in June, and you were doing the intermittent fasting prior to June.
Yeah, I started that. right after our. It was right around the time when I went to the doctors, which was February of last year.
Okay. So in total, you've lost probably what, 35 pounds on Ozempic?
Yeah, roughly around there.
Roughly around
Around
that.
like I would say it's more like about 31, 32 pounds.
Okay, so 32 pounds. Let's just call it 32. So 32 pounds you've lost in, okay, June, you said?
Yeah, so we're
July,
talking
August, September,
7.
October, November, December, January, February. 8 months.
Yeah. So
Okay.
even still, like you're at the 4+ mark, which is, what do they say? 3 pounds is what you're really supposed to lose a month, something like that. That's a healthy weight
Mm-hmm.
loss. So, up
So you're
until
averaging that
yeah, I was
and
averaging
then
over
some.
5
Yeah.
prior to
Right.
probably around like November-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I was on pace at 5 pounds a month.
Right.
And then, that all, I knew eventually I was gonna end up hitting a point where I'd plateau. Like I said, and when, going to the doctor and him saying that, I really thought you were going to gain weight, and him being happy that, I still lost a pound was, for him, he was like, that was a win-win.
Sure.
So, whereas, like we said last week, for me, I'm like, no.
So how many months have they provided you with the Ozempic that's at 1 milligram?
I have, I'm gonna sound like a druggie. I have like 9 months worth of pens.
Okay. So are you what's going to be the deciding factor for you as far as this is not for me, I got to stop? Or maybe talking to the doctor about dialing back. But if you dial back, that means that you're probably going to plateau, at a certain time, right? Or no?
I think for my end point, my end game will be like how I feel the next couple weeks.
Okay.
I'd really like I hate to say this because I would really love for Planet Fitness to open up soon, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon in Polar.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's all about how I feel. Like,
Right.
is it affecting everything that I do as far as my life is concerned? Because I also would like to start. I'm doing a lot more, and I'm getting the gumption to do a lot more because I feel different.
Better. Yeah.
I still have. There's other issues that kind of hinder me on the daily, but getting out and being active being more active is what's the another factor for me. Like we talked, getting out into the grocery store and actually walking through a grocery store with my wife. Holy crap! Can't tell you the last time I did that. I mean, I can only do short spurts, but still to be able to walk through the grocery store is a huge thing and not feel stressed. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not in any pain. I don't feel like my muscles I'm breaking a point, like I'm stepping across the line with my body and my muscles. And then two, like just the sweating from being in, your body being in stress. So those factors right there those are key too.
It's getting nicer out too, so it might be better, before it gets too hot, because down here it gets sweltering, and it's unmanageable. But maybe even in the evenings, when the sun first goes down, which would be around 7, coming up here soon.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
Just to get out and give yourself a goal as far as like, all right, so I'm going to walk, half a mile today, or I'm going to work my way up from a quarter mile to a half a mile to, and et cetera, just to kind of get yourself, because I feel like once you anybody start to see progress and results, it's like it's working. And
Yeah.
I'm on this and I want more.
Yeah, and that's like I said, like if I go by myself, I've done it by myself a couple times. But I knew I was going, like, it was almost going to be like a in and out type of deal.
Going where? To the
To
gym?
the store.
Oh,
Never
to the
going,
store.
like, walking, just doing like norm. I think going to the gym's one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but going to the store and being able to feel like I'm being social, and being able to not feel like I'm a burden, so to speak,
Right.
which I know that I'm not. But it's nice to be able to know that I'm going to be able to walk around and not feel labored or feel like, oh, I got to rush,
I think the
through
burden
everything.
would be what you're placing. You're placing your burden on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, Christina is a trooper. I don't know where I'd be or how I would be if I didn't have her there to support me and
Sure.
to lift me up when I've had down moments. But yeah, being able to do more that's a huge factor. Um, but coming back to it could be a couple weeks from now that I say, you know what, I'm gonna stop because I just don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel like I can't eat because if I eat, well, then guess what? 8 hours later, I'm gonna be in and out of the bathroom or feeling like I need to set up shop in the bathroom.
Shut up, the shop.
Yep, there you go.
Shut up, shop, stop, drop.
Yeah, I mean, I can laugh about it, but I can tell you when it first started, it wasn't fun. And there's days like I had one last week where it wasn't fun. It just drained me. And that's what I don't want to feel like anymore is that draining piece. But right now, so far, it hasn't been too bad. Um, Probably no different than with the 0.5 at this point. But I think my senses are more heightened right now because I'm much more worried about what's going to happen with going from 0.5 to 1 than just being on the 0.5. But
you never know, your body could get used to it. Yeah. And that would be ideal.
Well, that's where I was with the 0.25. I was pretty much, yeah. I mean, my body got used to it. And then I was like, okay, now it's time to start on 0.5 and hit the 0.5. And for 3 weeks was really, really good. And then 1 week, it was like the whole week. And I'm like, yeah, this kind of sucks.
Right.
So I stopped. And that was the week. The week that I stopped was the week that I went to the doctors.
Okay.
So, and then
which was last week?
No,
or the week prior?
It was roughly like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Because it was the week that I stopped was the week when Natalia had the shower.
Oh, okay.
And then I started
back
the next month,
That's
that following
right.
Monday, which was last week.
Yeah, because you didn't want to have an episode. Yeah.
I didn't want it to affect anything that was going on that during that weekend, whether it be that or
are you taking anything to counteract that? Like a probiotic or
yeah, I have probiotic gummies at home that I take.
Remember I told you I was going to give you the Phillips?
Yeah, we both walked it. We spaced.
I dropped the ball on that, but please remind me to give you that because I'm very interested to see if that will. Shout out to Phillips, by the way. You guys have a bomb product. It's a 3-in-1 product. It helps with gas, bloating, constipation, and it's a probiotic. It's amazing. Which, I mean,
I told Christine last night. I said she asked me if I want anything from the store. I was like, yeah, get a whole thing of cheese for me so I can bind myself up. But I mean, it's all like I said.
What's crazy is I think that cheese has the opposite effect on me.
Some people it does.
I mean, lots of things have the opposite effect on me. Caffeine makes me tired.
Well, we had this discussion about this type of stuff. Like, I can put headphones on and listen to Tool and fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how
It's a lot of
I
different
don't
things.
know. It's like I don't know if my medulla oblongata is in the wrong place.
Medulla oblongata.
Or what's happening here, but something's mixed up in my brain, which we've all known for a very long time. But it's just not, it doesn't process substance chemicals the same way, medications the same way as other people's. And I just recently got on Lunesta. I'm so scared.
I know
I'm
that
scared to
feeling.
take it.
Well, that's the same boat that I was in with this woman. Like, I mean, the thing. I think I got in my own head about it. One, because I was worried about, like, was it going to be an everyday thing, like an all day thing? And then on top of that, like I said, when I opened up that box and I saw there was only 4 needles there, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and so then the wheels are turning, and I'm like, well, can I do one needle two times? Like, am I gonna get some sort of infection? And I'm like, I'm just gonna roll the dice with it and see what happens.
Might as well.
Worst case scenario, I'll get a pillow and a blanket and sleep in the tub and
sleep in the tub. Just don't fill it up.
No, that wouldn't be me. I'm not a bath type of guy anyway. So, but yeah, like I said, it's hindsight being 2020. It's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be, but I mean, it's still.
I can tell a difference. Just so you know, I don't see you every day. So when I do see you, I'm not judging you, but of course I'm looking at you going, okay, this is different. That's different. Your shirts are fitting differently.
Yeah.
Right? Your clothes are fitting
like
differently.
This shirt today I put on and I'm like, wow, this is different. I haven't worn this shirt. Funny thing is I was looking for the shirt for the longest time and I could never find it. And here Christina kind of hit it towards the backside of our of the closet. And I'm like, oh, there it is. And I grabbed it and I looked at it and I pulled it up because I hate shirts that like ride up on me. Like I hate it. They may fit, but they ride up. And I can't stand that. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this looks like it shrank a little. Like, let me see. So I sat there and I put it on. I'm like, this is fitting a little bit different than usual.
Have you thought at all about bringing some equipment into the home for your workout until Planet Fitness is?
We do. We have stuff in there, but where we have it, it's so cluttered. The one room in the house because there's a bed in there. It's got.
Does it have a human in there?
No, there's no human in there, thankfully. Although you never know.
How many bedrooms do you have? You have 3? Yeah.
Bedrooms.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a bed in there. There's also the cribs in there that was never used.
I might have you. No, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna get a pack and play.
We have. Well, the crib was supposed to be for Mackenzie, and she never took it, never used it.
Okay.
But
well, maybe she'll use it now because she's having another baby, right?
Yeah.
So maybe she'll use it now.
But anyway, yeah, her dad brought down a bench with some weights, and I put it all together, and I'm like, man, there's no room to go anywhere in this room.
Have you thought about maybe?
The hope is that some of the clutter that's in there will be gone come May or June.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it might be a good idea because this matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really does, and you don't have to. If you've got, first of all, if you've got your own body, you can do resistance exercises that way. You've got. And you've got, free weights at your house. And, like one of those things that you can walk on, by the way, have you ever seen those walking pads? They're simple. They're just maybe like, I don't know, 2 feet by, or, maybe it could be 3 feet by 2 feet, but you just get on it and you walk on it and, you could be doing that.
No, I haven't seen those.
They're really cool.
The other avenue that I looked at, which was, I did look into Apple Fitness, and I looked into their yoga routines, and because considering the fact that I'm all lined up with all the Apple stuff, they don't have any like beginner type stuff. So I may go back to the DDP yoga thing. I just don't want to spend $30 a month, and then
No, right. I mean,
I can get the. I can trust me. I can get the the pirate version for free, but
right. But that's,
you know.
yeah. Yeah. Then we're going back to,
Well, no, I mean I can. He's got like with that. He's got everything from the bed all the way up to like Spartan freaking routines. So it's really good. It really is, and I've been thinking about it and trying to figure out in my head like what I want to what I want to do next. I do believe like we started to talk about earlier, the eating regimen, the planning of certain stuff, like what I'm gonna, because it is all about what I eat, because I just don't process certain things the way other people do. It's just how my body is, unfortunately.
and I think it's also what tastes good
Yeah,
as opposed to what is going to make you feel good. That's always been an issue for me. Food for me. I love food. I'm a foodie. I love it. But one thing I've never been into ever is fast food. I've just never been into it. It doesn't matter what fast food it is. I'm just not. I'm not into it. I'd rather have a hearty steak, but then I've got to have my mashed potatoes, my pasta,
bread.
my carbs.
Yeah.
But with intermittent fasting, I can have all of those things, and I can but I can still, like, I'll make something that's supposed to be great for you terrible for me.
I
Butter,
do that with a lot of stuff.
salt, you name it, it's on there.
Yeah, I refuse. There's just some things like I remember when I was a kid, like my grandparents, because they were watching their weight or trying to be healthy, and I remember, uh, one of our Thanksgiving staples, part of the meal, they made something that has to have butter in it. They made it with margarine, and we were like, we ate it. We're like, yeah, nah,
Margarine.
because
Like, what in the
like
hell is margarine?
so like it's funny because when I think about some of the stuff that, and as far as family recipes go, when I think of it, I'm like, God damn, this is so fattening. But at the same time, one, I don't make certain things a lot. Like, okay, for like potato filling, all it is really mashed potatoes, and it's got a whole bunch of other stuff in it. Not like butter,
Sorry, I'm
celery,
lost.
onions. What do you
What's
mean?
a potato filling?
Potato filling. It's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing. It's
Wouldn't know
basically
anything about
mashed
that.
potatoes, but what you do is instead of using milk, bread is one of the fillers for it that binds it together, that makes it, makes the mashed potatoes thick. But it's got onions and celery, a lot of butter, gets all mashed together, like you mash it together, and then it goes
Kind of like a shepherd's pie.
sort of, kind of. Oh, it's
Okay.
great if you use that for shepherd's pie.
Right.
Better.
That's all I
But
can think of that you would use it for.
But what you do is you put it into casserole dish. It goes in the oven and you bake it so it gets nice and brown on top, and you just scoop it, and it gets, when it goes in the oven and it comes out, it's like two different products. When you put it in that casserole dish, it's freaking thick. When it comes out, it's like nice and smooth and runny, but it's so good. It's way different than mashed potatoes. I'm telling you right now.
Have you cut back on fast food?
Yeah, well, I don't. I'm trying to think the last time.
This is a good thing. This is a good thing that you got to search your brain for the last time.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably, it was over a month ago that we got something because we were both home. We were like, being lazy, didn't want to do it. I think she was sick, so she wanted something. I'm like, well, we'll go and get it. And think it was Taco Bell actually. So
Listen, I'm not gonna cap. I love Taco Bell.
I thought you said you didn't like fast food though.
I mean, I do. Listen, that is like maybe once every few years.
Yeah, well, but that's
And we're on a road trip, and
I know what you're saying.
yeah, I remember one time we were on our way to Atlanta, and the kids were like, "Oh, let's," they're like, "Where do you want to stop?" And I'm like, "I have this hankering for Taco Bell," and so anyway, I always sit in the back because Dante's legs are so long.
Yeah.
And plus, it cuts down on any kind of rift that might be in the back seat with Dante and G,
riffraff.
right? So I sit in the back. We keep the peace. Everybody's got leg room. We're good to go.
Right.
But anyway, so we're on our way, and like for the very first time I think ever, they asked me what I would like to stop to get, and I was like, me? Hold on, let me think. Taco Bell. But anyway, so everybody was like, and I was just like, I got so upset because I felt so special in that moment that they actually wanted to know where I wanted to go, where I wanted to stop. And then they just kind of like deflated my balloon. And I was just like,
they asked you,
it's fine. We could go wherever you want.
So they asked you, and right away the Taco Bell bell went off in your head, and then they just
and I was thinking to myself, I am the queen of this house. I'm the queen of everything. And you ask me, and I don't even put my 2 cents in before you ask. And when I do, you deny me? Oh, no, not today. So I gave everybody an attitude in the car.
Nice.
And then we went to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, I mean.
And then I hated myself for it. I did.
I mean, we both come from the time when Taco Bell tacos were like 69 cents a piece.
Oh, man.
I was trying to tell Christina this one time we were talking about Taco Bell, and my all-time favorite, which they were supposed to bring back, but okay, so they used to make, do you remember when they used to make the Mexi Melts?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's all we would get. I don't care if they were $1, but that's all we would get. But they were so damn good. Well, they were supposed to bring them back, and I looked to see what they were going to charge for them. I was like, you got to be.
Was it $6 of
like $2?
Oh.
And
you know what I used to
they were
get?
only like yay big. They were like a 2-bite thing back in the day.
Bro, do you know what I used to love is the the crunchy? It's got like
the crunch wrap.
Yeah, the crunch wrap. There was that, but you know what I've opted for years now, and I can't get myself out of this. Nacho Bel Grande, extra everything, no beans. So, and then they always repeat it back to me. Okay, so extra tomatoes, extra sour cream, extra beef, extra everything, no beans.
Yes.
They've fucked that up a couple times and given me extra beans, and I'm like, I want to just be like, that's not what I asked for, but
you know
whatever.
What I never understand about them is they would have like the beef burritos on the menu, and you get the beef burrito and it have beans in with it. How's that? Okay, first of all, just say it's a burrito, because to me a burrito has both of those things in it. But when you say it's a beef burrito and you add beans to it, I'm like,
well, refried beans are just, it's like eating, I don't know how to describe this. Yeah, it's like eating some sort of weird, dry, pasty cardboard. I don't know. I guess
used to think the same thing, and then I started eating it a couple times. I'm like, well, this wasn't so bad. But yeah, I remember my parents used to get that all the time when we were going to talk about when I was a kid. It's like, screw that. But yeah,
Taco Bell, taco smell.
Yeah, I mean,
taco smell.
If we go out or we get something out, it's mainly to a restaurant. Oh, speaking of Mexican, so this place, and you were talking about nachos. This place that's down from us, or it's across the street from one of the Publix in Pooler. Oh my God, they have the best nachos, and you want to know why?
Why?
Because they layer. They're like, well, when we got them the first time,
there's no dried chip left behind.
Every chip has something on it. It's not all piled up.
I thought that was my OCD. It's not just me, is it?
No. It's not all one big pile of slop. It's like there's one layer of chips and there's a whole bunch of stuff on top of each chip. And then there's another layer of chips on that with a whole bunch of stuff on top of that. I'll never forget that. Christina even was like, "Oh my gosh, these are like the best nachos ever." I've never heard her say that before, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I like a very sloppy nacho like plate.
I don't mind if it's sloppy, but I mean, like, don't just throw a bunch of chips down and then slop a bunch of stuff over top of a mound of chips.
Right.
Because now you got like the first couple layers of
right.
chips.
And everybody's wanting to eat the first layer of chips.
Yeah,
and now you've taken all the good stuff and now we just have dry chips.
By the time you get down to the
forget
bottom,
that.
they're all soggy and
that's messed up.
No.
And don't do that. It's not good.
No, but I'll tell you what, when we go to a Mexican restaurant, I think my vice is salsa. I swear to God, they put crack in salsa because the salsa at the Mexican restaurants, I could drink that stuff. It's so good.
Really?
Me. Yeah, like getting like the salsa out, in the jars.
Mateo's has a really good salsa.
Mateo's is the one that has the pepper on the front. It's like a yellow.
Yeah.
That's the stuff we get from Costco. Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
it's so good. Mateo's is the best salsa.
Mateo's salsa is that's the best. And since we're on that subject, Grillo's pickles are I think they're the best. They're
Grillo
or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Grillo
All I can tell you is
I love them.
So
the ones with the garlic, the big garlics.
Mm-hmm.
I will eat
and the dill, the garlic and the
fuck the pickle. I'm eating the garlic. And one time I can't remember who it was that thought that the habanero was something different. It was someone in my family, and I just remember them being like, I'm like, yeah, no, that's the habanero. You don't want that. But those spicy garlic pickles are everything.
See, I can't get them because Christina won't eat them because she doesn't like spicy stuff. Ooh. But I love.
God, how could you not like spicy stuff, Christina?
Their pickles are.
Explain yourself, girl. That thing is. I put hot on everything, spicy on everything. I'm surprised I haven't.
Sauce on pizza.
Yeah, my mouth just watered. Yes, I need the spice in my life.
Tabasco on pizza is really good. I mean, putting the pepper flakes on there is good, but
yeah, I put the pepper flakes. I put hot sauce. My pizza.
It's hard to find good pizza around here too. So I mean,
yeah. Best pizza I've had, and I like a white pizza. I don't know how you feel about white pizza, but I love I love white pizza. Like down at Sunset Pizza, they have what's called a white horse, and they don't put ricotta in. I do not put ricotta on my damn pizza. Ricotta belongs in baked ziti. It belongs in lasagna. It does not belong on pizza. I don't want to bite into a big gob of ricotta.
That's funny you brought up Big Z, and I know if she watches this, she's gonna kill me. I'll never forget we made baked ziti, and I told Christina that we need to make sure we had eggs, and she looked at me like
binding properties.
We need what? Yeah, you need eggs for the ricotta cheese because it helps bind every.
Send her over. I'm gonna cook for y'all one night. I'm gonna cook a really good lasagna or a really good ziti, and y'all need to come by and just enjoy.
I make good stuff. She's very particular about certain things. Like
don't take that the wrong way. I'm not taking a shot at anybody's cooking, but I can tell you what, I'm giving myself a big, huge, giant pat on my back because I can cook the shit out of Italian food. It's easy for me. I judge all of the ingredients with my heart. I never measure anything.
The day that I made the vodka sauce, I wanted to pat myself on the back for that. Because I've never made that before. And like the day that I made sauce, I got looked at like I had 3 heads coming out of my, or I got looked at like I had 3 heads coming out of my shoulders.
Well, how did you make your sauce? I'll judge you right now. I'm judging you.
I don't, I'm not the typical Italian. I
I
mean,
know.
I used sauce and I used canned tomatoes. I didn't use like the jar sauce.
Yeah, don't do that.
What I'm saying?
Don't ever do that.
The only thing we didn't have, like, because what I would like to do is I'd like to be able to do what most Italians do, which is have like sausage, like cook their sausage and their meats in the.
You said sausage.
Oh, sorry. Well,
sausage,
whatever.
Sausage. Whatever. You said I cook my sausage. I love you, and I love the fact that you have a whole different like way of saying things.
Well, I think it's funny. Did you ever notice that like you can talk when you move away? Not that we're getting off the subject of my sauce, but isn't it funny how when you move away from where you're from, you lose your accent? But then the minute you get around,
you're done. You're done.
It just all
you're done.
Because that's what happens when you get me, my mom, like when my grandparents were still alive, like the Pennsylvania Dutch accent would come out. Like certain things would
Do you feel like y'all whine? Like you elongate your vowels?
No. Now, if you would listen to my daughter sounds like she's from South Philly, like she's from that area, from the Delaware Valley. You just know automatically. Whereas with me, I don't have that accent at all, and I don't.
You have a newscaster's accent. Where they are very. I don't know how to say it. They like you wouldn't see. I could never be a newscaster.
So every time I watch the news, I'm like, "Where's that?"
Today in the news?
I do not sound like that. I do not. There's not even close.
In today's news, I cooked pasta with sauce and sausage. It's okay. You know what? It feels fucking great because everybody makes fun of me.
I don't make fun of you. I think because I recognize all the different accents. Like I can tell who's from New York, who's from Long Island, who's from Philly. Like I this is no joke. No joke. I was watching a video on Facebook and I was listening to this person talk. And I'm like, they're from Philly. They're from the Delaware Valley. And it wasn't bad. It was just like certain words they were saying. And Christy was like, how do you know that they're from? I'm like,
well, what's funny is born and raised up in upstate New York. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go orange and blue. I'm Orangeman. And then I literally moved in with somebody that was from Long Island. Mm-hmm. And
Long Island, by the way.
It's Long
Island.
Island. Like it has a T on the end.
It's all together.
I'm from Long Island.
Well, no, it's Long Island. Like the G goes into the I.
Right.
It's kind of like when you're speaking French, certain words, they slide together.
And then I worked and federalized LaGuardia and JFK. And that was for a few months. And then I moved down here, which, by the way, I moved down here in 96. And so it was very, very, well, I remember when I first moved down here. So my point is that I have Northern New York, Italian, Southern, somehow all of those things have come together, and I don't know that anybody would ever know exactly where I'm from, because in upstate New York, they speak like they do in like, not as bad as Wisconsin, but like the people that I know that this is how they would say John. And I say John. They say John. John. I say eggs. They say eggs.
I say eggs.
Eggs. Like egg.
Now, if you're from South Philly, it's not. I say water, but they say water.
I say water.
Water, like wood-er.
I say water. Everybody's made fun of me. Like, I don't know why I have all of these different sort of dialects.
I got to get it from the drawer.
But I have not that drawer.
It's drawer, not drawer.
They used to make fun of how I say bedroom because I don't say room. Bedroom. Bedroom.
Bedroom.
Right. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of things that I also am, I don't know why, but I'm also able to sort of chameleon into the people I'm surrounded with. You know?
You might not want to stay around me long night because then you'll be going sausage.
Ew, I would never. I mean, I love you and I love everything about you, Troy, but Craig. Say the name Craig.
Craig. Sorry.
Craig. It's Craig.
Craig. Now you
It's
sound like
Craig broke his leg tripping on a keg. I think you have one of my dog's hairs on your face.
It's
Dexter. There, it's gone. That's Dexter.
Could have been red. It wasn't Gizmo.
But yeah, they make fun of the way I say Hilton Head. They say that I actually pronounce the T. Hilton Head.
Hilton Head.
It's Hilton Head. You say Hilton.
Yeah.
Like the T is gone. Hilton.
Yeah, Hilton Head.
Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Maybe I have the newscaster voice because I pronounce my T's. Belly button.
Is there a balake here?
A what?
Balake.
What the hell is a block A?
You've ever seen that skit from...
Don't say Saturday Night Live. No, I don't watch that shit.
No, this is from Key and Peele. Not Key and Peele.
Oh, I love Key and Peele, but no.
Yeah. It's the Mr. What's his last name? He goes in and he pronounces all the kids' names wrong. He pronounces them like they're black names. So Blake is Balake.
Oh.
Denise is D-Nice.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have seen that one.
Jake Quellen.
Yes, I have seen. I love Key and Peele.
Hey,
they don't really make. Bobby doesn't find them very funny, but I think they're funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Do you know what movie I watched last night? Well, Bobby and I watched last night. A Star Is Born. Have you seen it?
The new version, no. There is an older version that has Barbara Streisand in it. You sounded just like her.
I know. I miss my calling, Trey. I'll never reach the... You know what? Michelle told me once that I can't sing.
Wow.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yes. No, I've not watched that. What did we watch? We watched some horror movie over the weekend. And the endings kill us every time. Like both of us.
No pun.
Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, it's just.
Did you watch?
It was Last Rite. That's what we watched.
Oh.
It's kind of like an Exorcist type.
Oh, we went to the movie theater and saw that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending was.
Yeah. It was with a female that. Yeah. Got it. That wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but.
There's a couple that are coming out that I'm.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Interested. I put them down in my phone so that when they come out, or I think I actually sent one of them to Christina so she could watch it. There's a couple of them, but you got to watch chat. You got to watch Reacher.
What is it?
Reacher.
What is that?
It's well, you never heard of the movie Jack Reacher?
No.
There's 2 movies Jack Reacher that came out. That has Tom Cruise in it, but it's nothing like the actual books that were brought out. the books that were brought out and the Reacher that's on Amazon Prime, that's more in line with the actual character itself. But the dude that's in that is jacked up. Jacked. Dude is huge. And he's awesome.
You think it's steroids?
If it is, I don't care.
Or is he just built that way?
Some people, well, he's a big guy. He could be, literally, if you wanted to make somebody look like Superman, that guy would be like the guy. Like his build is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I forget what his, I don't know what his name is, but yeah, season 3 comes out the end of this month. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I started to watch The Night Agent and then I had to stop because I thought.
Because you know it's good.
I stopped it because I was like, well, maybe Christina would like this. Because there's a lot of stuff that I watch that Christina's like, she could give a rat's ass about. Like I watched The Boys.
And you know that. You know your wife well enough to know, like, I need to stop this because she's going to be into it.
If she doesn't like, if she watches the first one and she's not really into it, like I didn't think she would like the List. I think it's called The List. That was on Amazon Prime. I didn't think she would like that.
Do y'all have cable?
No, I have YouTube TV. And then we have
okay, perfect.
Netflix. I just did away with Max because we really don't watch anything.
Yeah, we have.
I do. But
who do you have for your cell phone provider?
I have Verizon.
Verizon.
So I have Hulu, Disney Plus.
Oh, you have all of that through there. It's so confusing
Disney,
to me
yeah.
because I had everything set up like on different ways. And so we had to like stop our subscription. It was just the weirdest shit. Well, and I still don't think it's right because I think we're getting double billed, which is not what I want.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny you bring that up because I just sat down over the weekend because Verizon changed their plans. And for S&Gs, I wanted to see like if I wanted to get a new phone, how much it was going to cost and this, that, and the other. Well, turns out that right now with our current plan, I get Hulu, Disney Plus, Apple Music, iCloud Plus, ESPN Plus. I get all these for free.
$50
for free. I get them for free with our plan, right? So our plan, like right now, is $89, and it's the unlimited 5G, all that.
Is it all you pay for your Verizon plan?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Not for both of us, per person. It's per person.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I went and looked at the new plans and started doing all the math and started figuring everything out because we would lose everything. So I started factoring in, well, I can get the family. I get Apple Plus too as a part of our.
Right. So do we, but I don't know how that works, Troy. Like I'm so like, duh when it comes to that shit.
Like they're called perks now. So you go in and you just click on it and they tell you what you need to do.
I remember I was telling you, like, I got to do something about the aperture and I got to do blah, blah, blah. If it does not interest me whatsoever, like I'm interested in saving money. I am, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, like if it's too much bullshit and fuckery to go around, I'm like, I'm done.
I know, that's what I did. I sat down and I figured out, okay, this is what we pay for the both of us.
I might give you access to all my shit and you can figure it out and let me know.
Well, in the end, I think if we did it the way I was going to do it, we would end up saving only $5.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Next year when our phones are fully paid off, and if we make the decision, which I probably will, because at this point you're talking our phones will be 3 years old. Apple will have gone up. They'll already be into the second, upcoming to the third year of all their newest, latest and greatest stuff. At that point, yeah, like I'm going to want to upgrade on my phone. But then I'll deal with it then. That's what we talked about. I was like, do you want me to change them over now? Because, we can do this, and this, and then we don't have to worry about it later. And we were just like, $5? No. If it was like $10, $15, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do it right now. Because
Bro, it's crazy. You know how much I pay like for our family, and I've got lines upon lines. I have iPads. I've got line just so many lines on my Verizon.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
pay like
So
almost $600 a month for my freaking phone bill.
we're at about 200 a month total for both of our phones. And then I was looking at all that stuff too, because my computer, my laptop, is almost 10 years. It is 10 years old this year. So for the last 3 years with Apple products, like if you're not within a certain range, you can no longer upgrade on their OS programs. So I still have like the OS program from 3 years ago.
On
So
your phone?
on my not on my phone, on my computer. So I'm not running with the most updated stuff. So not only is my computer's not slow by any means, but there's some things going on that aren't normal. But I'm not running with the current OS system. So between that and I do want to get a new watch, all that stuff like you were talking about. When it's all said and done, like if I want to get an iPad, because then I was looking into the iPads, thinking, oh, I'll get something it's more mobile. Well, shit, might as well just get a freaking laptop for the end all price, unless you go with like just the basic iPad, because there's iPad, then there's iPad Mini, and then there's iPad Air, and then there's iPad Pro, and
I think Apple needs to send me a studio. I'll try it and give you my
review.
My honest review. But there's so many people out there that are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But really, please just give me an iPad or a Mac Studio. I freaking need it, and yeah.
Well, and it's the thing is that with the time that I have, that's the other thing that I just start. You would think like, because I'm pretty heavy on tech, and I'm into to a lot of stuff.
Which pause. Troy is here to bring us through his Ozempic journey, his weight loss journey. Okay. However, we've decided to get together weekly on Wednesdays to discuss that, but major updates about that won't be weekly.
Major, they're more.
It's just more minor.
Yeah, they're. It's going to be here every week and talk about it every week. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of. I mean, I can tell you what I've done during the week, but
so I feel like Troy needs to be on here because Troy is a movie buff, he is a music buff, and he is a technology buff.
Yeah, I'm not a genius by no stretch.
No, you're not a genius. I was gonna go there, but I'm like, I want to give you your flowers, but I wouldn't say a genius about it. But you know a lot more than me, so it makes you look geniusy to me. But anyway, so we'll be getting, we're gonna discuss things like that, not just his journey, just so y'all know, because you guys are probably like, you guys get so off topic. Well, we'll start with the weight loss Ozempic journey, and we'll close with the weight loss Ozempic journey. But in between time, you're just gonna have to, if you don't like it, just keep going. Stop it when it's not interesting,
Here's your papers.
Yeah. They're pink, by the way. My girl. I'm going to bring this into my esthetician, and I'm going to say, you see how her chin comes out and her lips are like this and everything's like that? This is what I want it to look. I want to look like this. And she's going to be like,
you want a pink glow?
I would. When I turn to the side, I want my shit to glow pink, like neon, and they're gonna be like, oh, "You are her." You saw the Monday Mash with Carl.
I did.
You saw how I went and ran into Whitney from the Southern Charm.
Yeah, I heard about that.
God, dumbass. Such a dumbass.
I have a story.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of along the same lines, but not so much. So
And let's be before you get started, just for the record, I was not starstruck. Whitney, nobody from Southern Charm would make me starstruck. I was not. And look the only person that could make me starstruck, I might be starstruck if I saw Rihanna. I'd be like, dur, 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 dur. I might be starstruck if I saw somebody like Al Pacino. Starstruck. My favorite act,
yeah,
you know, like
I think there's certain people, we all have them, like yeah, there's certain
but your
people
reality TV stars, like literally, I just felt like we were family, and I thought he might say hi back, but he
you
was
didn't go,
so
what up, fam?
No, like I wanted him to turn around and be like, "What's up?" But instead, he was just like,
See, I never. All right, so growing up where I grew up, the majority of all the Philadelphia sports athletes like lived in South Jersey, like in the, I would say within a 25-mile radius in Jersey where I'm from. Uh, like Reggie White lived in my city, my town. His nephew went to my high school, played football at my high school. So on and so forth. So I used to work for Toys R Us, and we would see a lot of athletes come in there. Like a lot of the Eagles would always come in there, and I've seen the good side and the bad side. Like I've seen how nice people can be to them, to stars or athletes, and I've seen the other side where people are just utter assholes, like how they treat people. Like there was a guy, Clyde Simmons, played for the Eagles. I was actually helping him on the floor. I didn't know at the time that it was Clyde Simmons until this Jagwagon was like literally came and interrupted me and him while we were talking about what he was looking for, because he was looking at a Power Wheels car for his kid. This dude like clack clack, like right away, like gets in between us, clack clack, tell my son who you are, and he's like, I'm Clyde Simmons. Like, it was kind of like, dude, I felt bad for him. And when the guy stepped away, I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's like, don't even worry about it. I've seen that side, and I've seen it a couple times down here. Like when I first moved here, I didn't know at the time that Mark Messier lived here, or lived on Defusky.
There's a couple of stars that live on
Defusky,
Hilton Head.
Yeah, they're
John Mellencamp.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh my gosh, the dude that played in Sniper. What was his last name? He also was in Platoon. He was the bad.
You watch these wacky movies that I would never.
You've never watched Platoon?
I've watched Cocoon. Is that the same?
No, not even roughly.
No, I love Cocoon.
Not even close.
Cocoon's a good movie.
Anyway,
man.
So I didn't know that at the time that Mark Messier lived here. I'd heard whispers, but I was like, whatever. And when I worked at Walmart, I worked on Christmas Eve. I was working Christmas Eve, and he came in and came back to our department. I was the only one working in the department, and he came up to the register to get checked out, and I was like, oh my God. Like there's one other athlete that was just as high up on the ranks as him, but Mark Messier he's a hockey player. He's like top 10, top 5 in my book of all time, right? Man, I apply everything with athletes as I do with actors, and I would rather have a conversation and a handshake than to be like, can I get your autograph? Because I feel like the conversation is going to last me a lot longer than some stinking autograph. I just do. That's just how I feel.
You know what it is for me? You're not special. That's what I want to. I want to just be like, you're not that special where I'm going to be like, oh my God, can I have your autograph? Yeah, I don't feel like it's that special. Like, who are you?
Yeah, it's never been like that for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, well, here's what happened. So he was there and we were talking. I was like, I shook his hand and I told him, I really enjoyed his career and, appreciated everything he did for hockey. And Told him where I was from. He was like, "Oh, cool," and we talked. And he left. He was gone. I was like, "Have a Merry Christmas." Blah blah blah. He left. I was cool. I'm like, "Oh my god." I did have a little bit of Marsha Brady in me though. I was like, when she got kissed by Davy Jones, she's like, "I'll never watch this cheek ever again." I was like, I never. For a moment, I'm like, I'm never watching this hand.
Do you know who came
again.
through the airport up in JFK? Oscar De La Hoya.
Douchebag.
I love him. Why is he a douchebag?
Because he robbed a lot of his. First of all, he was a.
This is probably something I don't know. So
he was a fantastic boxer. Boxer wise, fantastic.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Outside of the ring. Not so much.
I don't see. That's the thing is, I don't like mix business with pleasure.
Well,
in that way,
I do and I don't. I mean, I think
like I don't give a shit what you do.
It speaks a lot.
It really does. It really does.
So yeah, he was a freak. He basically got caught doing things that most people do. Like he would be in his hotel room dressing up in heels and dresses and having sex with all these women when he was married and all this stuff. He had a couple kids and didn't.
I mean, if he wants to dress in drag, that's cool. But like when it comes down to like being an asshole to your wife and your family, I gotta draw the line.
But he's also been a douchebag because he's also a promoter and he's been a douchebag to all his boxers. But anyway, yeah, so that was him. But the best one, this is the best story. I will never forget this as long as I live. I was at Publix, mind you. All the golfers that come in because of I've seen them come and go because of the heritage.
Yeah.
So I'm at the register. I'm ringing this guy his stuff, and it's this real tall guy with a Buffalo Bills hat on, and another guy much shorter. I looked at him. I'm scanning. I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, I know this guy. Scanning stuff. He gets in front of me, like where the computer is. I'm scanning and stuff, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, this is fucking Jim Kelly.
Jim
Kelly was the quarterback. He was the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
The 4 years that they lost the Super Bowl in a row.
Yep.
Also played in the USFL.
Yep.
He actually got drafted by the Bills first, and he decided to go.
I bet he's looking kind of old these days.
Well, he had cancer. He had throat cancer and went through a lot.
Did he end up passing away now?
No, he beat it, but he was looking pretty bad. But anyway, so now this guy's like one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I'm like, I know this is Jim Kelly. So he gets down to this end of the register. I'm like, I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm going to be cool about it. So I'm scanning the stuff, and I looked at him. And I was like, has anybody ever told you that you look like Jim Kelly? And he smiles at me and goes, all the time. And the dude that he was with was in front of me, just started busting out laughing. And I'm like, and now I'm like a little kid. I'm like, you wouldn't happen to be Jim Kelly, would you?
Did you say that? Did you? Did you want to punch yourself in your face?
Afterwards, we laughed. Like, we laughed hysterically about it for a good couple of minutes because I was like, God, I didn't. And I actually said I didn't want to say anything, but I'm not, but we laughed and, I was like, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Troy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fan of your career. I was not a fan of it. He goes, as long as it's not the Jets. I'm like, no, it's actually far worse. And he's like, who? And I went, the Cowboys. He's like, it's all right.
Yeah, the Jets, the Giants, and the Bills.
Well, the Jets or Miami were the two big ones for the Bills, but.
Well, yeah, and there were also, Jets versus, the Giants. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I will never, ever, ever. It's like a Yankees fan rooting for the Mets. What? Get the fuck out of here. Giants rooting for the Jets. Get the fuck out of here. Not happening.
No.
Like, pick a side and stay on it. I've always been a Bills fan, but there's people out there that are Bills fans that I want to punch in the throat. So that being said, it's kind of giving me a bad taste in my mouth. And I want to go back and get my Thurman picture back. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
I want that. But you know what? A gift's a gift's a gift.
Well, anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
that I will always remember that because I didn't get an autograph. I'll always remember that.
What's the matter, Troy? You can't make eye contact with me right now. I can't stand you. Anyway.
So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that yeah. When you were talking about that, I thought about that immediately because I'm like, that is my all-time favorite story.
Yeah.
Maybe I ever tell you.
One of these days I'm gonna dress up and I'm gonna have because I'm basically a boy mom and I'm a wife, right? Mm-hmm. So 90% of my family, my immediate family is, I would say 80% is male, right? Mm-hmm. And then I've got the other 20% being female, me and my daughter. And I thought one time what we're going to do, right? And Kai, my little Kai baby. But I thought this would just be the most funny thing to put on like expensive glasses, a ball cap, sort of expensive. And when I do this, it means I'm getting it off of, I'm getting it off of not Fifth Ave, but like somewhere on Fifth Ave, not in an actual store up in New York City. Your Fucci, your Fouille Vuitton, your Christian Dior.
Your Folkleys,
whatever it is, your Fucci's, whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead and do all of that. And I'm going to dress and I'm going to put fake jewels on and everything. And then I'm going to have the dudes dressed up with little ear things in. And we're going to go to just the store and the Publix and stuff and make it look like, and they're gonna have glasses. I just
trying to make it look like you're some sort of star and see if people
Yeah, they're like, who, what, huh?
Who is that? Did you see her walking around with those guys?
And then they would look at my card that I paid with, but I'd be like, I wouldn't even speak. I would just tell my bodyguard to pay for me. I should do that and video it. I think that would be hilarious.
That's kind of like what Chris and Sharon did for their wedding when, because we dressed up in, what are they called? I forget what they
tuxedos?
Call it. Yeah, no, but they weren't your normal tuxedos. They were the, let's see if I have the picture. The video.
Like Men in Black?
No. The Janet Jackson video where Cab Calloway's in it with her, and they have the long what tuxedos are they called? I can't remember.
The penguin tail.
But you wear the hat and everything.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And you have a cane, and
we didn't have a cane. We had we just had the zoot suits. Yes, zoot suit. That's what we had, zoot suit tuxedos, right? Oh, I love that thing. So what they did was,
you were feeling fresh and fly.
I look good.
Yeah, you're like, damn, I look good. Shit, man. I look good. Girl, can't nobody tell me shit. What? I got my zoot suit on.
See, you're talking all that trash. Oh, just so happens.
Let's show the camera. Look what we're working with. Look at Troy.
Yeah, but we look good. Hold on, I gotta get the. There you go. There's the whole bunch. The whole crew. We had the chain and everything.
Can I show the whole crew?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's zoom in a little bit so we can get all the swab in one.
Those are badass tuxes. They were bad tuxes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, what they did was they did like this speakeasy theme.
Ooh,
So
yeah. I love a good speakeasy.
So they had me and our buddy Jimmy outside, and some of the people, well, everybody that got the invitation got a code word on the invitation. So like we were outside in front of the door. I had glasses on, and I basically just stood there like, you know, like a bouncer, and just looked like straight ahead. And Jimmy would be like, "What's the password?" Like he would ask certain people for the password, and they'd have to know, or they wouldn't get in.
That's great.
It was cool. It was really cool.
That's really great. So, yeah, that's creative.
It was one of the nicer suave suits that I wore. I liked that suit. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Our friend Bobby didn't like it as much, but.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just recap real quick. Yep. All right, so we started with the Ozempic, and that was in June that Troy started with his Ozempic. Mm-hmm. Before then, he was doing intermittent fasting. In total, you've lost a total of 40 some odd pounds. 47 pounds. That includes the intermittent fasting before going on Ozempic. He was on. You started at a quarter milligram, worked your way up to half a milligram, and now his doctor has prescribed 1 milligram, which he has 9 months of. He is currently on the fence as to whether or not he is going to continue with the 1 milligram Ozempic or not, or completely get off of it. Still awaiting the opening of Planet Fitness in Pooler, Georgia. Which we don't know if that's going to happen or not anytime soon. But he does have equipment at the house where we're just waiting on some things to take place so he can reorganize the room and maybe get a little bit more active that way. We will keep you all updated most certainly. But as I stated before, we will talk a little bit each time. We'll try to get together every Wednesday. So, sometimes life happens, and, I've gotten to tell you having the baby soon. So I could be out of commission for a hot minute. But, and of course it's all about how you feel on your journey, and I'm sure that everybody listening wants to just be kept updated and everything. But other than just the Ozempic and weight loss journey, Troy has a lot to offer when it comes to just kind of telling what he feels about movies and music and life and technology. I mean, this is my dude for that. But hopefully this wasn't too long, but not too short.
Last one. That's for sure.
And I'm always wishing everybody out there that is listening peace, love, health, and happiness above all.
Watch A Bronx Tale, Carl.
And then you say,
comment, like, and subscribe.
Stands on air. Thank y'all very much.